Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
All right, so we are going to start in standing facing the tall side of our chair, and I'll be rearranging my chair as appropriate, but you put yourself in a place where just transitioning on your mat and with your chair feels the best to you. All right, so start by just hands on the chair, feet on the ground, eyes focused forward. Take a nice deep breath. And then we're going to keep our eyes open and focus forward. So if you can, find just a single point in front of you and let your eyes just kind of rest comfortable. So the head is in a neutral position. Eyes are going to focus on that single point. And then you're going to hold your eyes open just as long as you can. So we're going to really ask our eyes to hold that focus a little bit longer than usual, to the point almost where your eyes might sting a little bit. Then you'll blink and come right back to that focus point. So find your focus point, let your eyes rest. Start to breathe in and out through your nose if you can. Eyes are going to stay focused on that single point, and then you're just going to see if you can imagine that you're breathing down to the bottom of your rib cage first. So you're going to fill up the biggest part of the rib cage and then fill all the way up to the collarbone. So breathe down to the bottom and then fill up to the top. Take one more breath. Now, before we move away from this place of stillness, just take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, we're going to keep our eyes focused on that single point if we can. So your eyes are going to stay focused. A lot of our practice today, eyes are going to stay focused on that single point. You're going to start to just step your feet slightly wider than hip width distance apart, but eyes are going to stay focused the whole time. Once you've got your feet slightly wider than hip width distance apart, come into your rock the baby sway. So your hips are going to stay fairly level. Hands are going to stay connected to the chair if that feels good and supportive. And you're just going to bend one knee and then the other. Now, how deep you go with that bend, keep it small, keep it light, keep it gentle. This movement, although we feel movement happening in the knees and the ankles, the movement is to support the hips. So the hips stay level, knees bend one way and then the other. Eyes are going to stay focused on that single point. So if you looked at the screen or you looked away from your single point, now see if you can come back to that single point. And we're going to take about 3 more cycles of breath. Once you've completed that last cycle of breath, we're going to take it right into some big giant hip circles. You're just going to circle your hips around as much range of motion as you can find. So you want to think front hip points towards the chair, side of your butt towards the side of your mat, back of your butt towards the back end of your mat. So really nice, big, generous movement here. And then just kind of tune in and notice, how does your back feel? How do your hips feel? Can you feel your feet shifting contact points on the ground as you move your hips? And then once you've got all of that going on, we're going to reverse directions, but now bring your eyes back to that focus point, reverse directions, go the other way, and then keep your eyes fixed on that single point. Keep the and gazing as long as you can to the point where you might feel a little sting in your eyes, and then you'll blink. Lovely. Take one more circle around. And then when you're ready, we're going to keep our eyes focused on that single point. Walk your feet in so that they're about hip width distance apart, or where you feel like your feet are about hip width distance apart. And then look down at your feet. Did they line up right? No right or wrong, but just check. Lift your eyes back up to that single point, and now we're going to pedal the feet. So we're going to start with both heels on the ground, pick up one heel and then the other. And now we're going to meet up in the air. So we're going to pick both heels up and then press one heel down. And then once you've got that going on, eyes are going to come right back to that fixed point, staring at that single point, letting your eyes feel a little bit of stress. Maybe they get a little stinging sensation. You blink and then come right back to that fixed focus. Beautiful. One more pedal of each foot, and then we're going to take it into double heel raises. So we're just going to lift both heels up and lower them down. And it's not necessarily about going for height, but about control and strength. And then once you've got that going on and it's sort of a nice rhythmic movement, get your eyes fixed back on that single point and then breathe in and out through your nose if you can. Lovely. Take one more up and down. And then the next time your heels touch down, walk right back to your downward facing dog shape. Settle yourself back just as far as feels good. Let your heart melt down. And now we're going to keep our eyes fixed down in a single point on the ground. So you're going to let your head feel like it's in a natural neutral position. It's not dropped down. So you're not looking at your knees or your toes. You're looking at the floor right underneath your eyes. Once you've got yourself into that position, so your head's in a neutral position, you're looking down at the ground. Now we're going to do rapid eye movement. So you're going to keep your head in a neutral position and your eyes are going to look side to side. So it's going to be a nice fast darting action. You're going to look to the left, look to the right, but the whole entire time, if you can, you're going to keep your head in a nice stable position. So your head's not going to move, just your eyes are going to look side to side. Notice if your tongue is trying to help you do that rapid eye movement, because mine surely is. One more little rapid eye side to side. Pause for a moment, blink, take a breath. And now we're going to keep our head in that neutral position again, but now we're going to look the eyeballs up and down. Head is going to stay in a neutral position, just the eyes are going to look up and down. Beautiful. One more up and down. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, look forward, walk yourself back up to the tall side of the chair. Now we're going to turn ourselves sideways, and then we're going to keep just a little bit of distance between us and the chair. Once you feel like you've got that little bit of distance, the leg that's outside of the chair is going to cross behind. And then how you rearrange it, just make sure your legs feel stable. Now we're going to take that outer hand and we're going to kind of think shot put, but we're going to start with a little side bend. So we're going to keep the palm facing up. As you push the hand up, you're going to push the hips out just a little bit, and then you're going to bring it back down. And to start, we're going to try to keep the arm reaching like it's reaching alongside the ear. So we're just going to go with a little bit of a side bend action with that shot put hand. So press that palm up, get that little side reach, and you can move yourself slightly away from the side of the chair. So if you can see, my hips are kind of coming in and out. That's where that space between me and the chair comes in. Awesome. One more in and out, and then we're going to hold it out. So we're going to press that palm up, press the hips away from the chair, pause there for a moment, take a breath. We're going to stay with that side bend, but now we're going to take that shot put palm. So the palm that's up and above your head. Now you're going to push it out just a little bit, like you're reaching for the corner of your ceiling. So you're going to round your back a little bit, reach out and away. Take 3 more breaths there if you can. Come up and out of that side bend. And now we're going to take big, generous circles with that arm. So swing that arm around with as much range of motion as you can find. Awesome. And then swing that arm around, go the other way. Lovely. Now take that arm and we're going to tuck it behind. So you're going to reach that arm across like you're trying to find the other side of your hip. And then once you've got it, get your spine just kind of lined up again, and then drop your ear away from that shoulder. And then once you've got the ear away from the shoulder, little micro nods of the head up and down. Beautiful. One more nod of the head up and down, and then head's going to come to a neutral position. Release your arm, uncross your leg and give it a little shake out. And then I'm going to move my chair and switch to the other side, but you spin yourself around in a way that makes the most sense. We're going to find that side standing position with a little bit of space between you and the chair. Now the outer leg is going to step behind. One side might arrange itself slightly differently, so don't worry about that. We just want a little bit of an uneven stance. Take your hand to that shot put position, so palm facing up, and then we push the hips away as we press that hand up. To start, keep the hand or arm fairly in line with the ear. So we're not trying to bring it in front of the body just yet. Bring it alongside the body. Find that nice action of moving gently into that side stretch and then coming back out of it. The next time that shot put hand reaches up, stay there, press out into the hips, find that nice good stress through the side of the body. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, you're going to press that palm. So the back of the body is going to round and reach just a little bit. Press that palm like you're pressing it towards the corner of your ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then release all of that. Come back up to a neutral position and then 3 big giant arm circles, circle in one direction. And then when you're ready, reverse and take 3 big giant arm circles, go the other way. Nice. And then take that hand and tuck it behind you, finding the other side of your hip. Once you've got the other side of your hip, line your spine up just so, and then drop your ear away from that shoulder and then add those little micro nods of the head up and down, but only if that part feels good. Beautiful. One more nod of the head up and down. Head's going to come up to a neutral position. Release that arm, give everything a little shrug, uncross your legs, shake everything out, but we're going to come back to that down dog shape. But now we're going to add a little bit of dynamic work. So reposition yourself for your chair, walk yourself back to that down dog shape. Take one breath. And then we're going to alternate lunges. So you're going to step one foot forward. As you step the foot forward, you're going to let the knee drop forward just as far as feels good. And as you let the knee drop forward, you're going to lift your chest, lift your gaze. So you're coming into a little bit of a gentle back bend. And then just as you hit the edge of that back bend, step back through down dog, take a breath. And then the other foot's going to step forward. So we're going to alternate between the two. Step forward into a lunge, press back into the heel, lift your heart, lift your gaze at the edge of the back bend, step back to your down dog, and then start to go at your pace. So you're going to step forward and back in a depth and a pace that makes the most sense to you, pausing in any places that might feel interesting to you, or just keep it moving. That'll be totally up to you what feels good in your body right now. Take one more time through or even yourself out. And then we'll finish at that down dog. So complete your lunges as appropriate to your count. And then when you find yourself back into that down dog, take a moment here to just push back into your butt just a little bit. Maybe let your heart melt down just a little closer to your thighs. Take one more nice gentle breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully bring yourself up. We're going to move our chair around, or you're going to move yourself around so that you can come to a seated position. And you're going to sit nice and close to the front edge of your chair. So we're already in that nice livened up position. So feet nice and firm on the ground, a nice tall position with the spine. Hands are going to come down at your side and find your mountain pose. But once you found that mountain pose, we're going to push just slightly down into the feet. So we feel like the tops of the thighs get a little bit alive. Take a moment to see if you can find that sensation of pushing down into the feet. Keep that pushing down sensation. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Push down into your feet. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time, push down into your feet. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Left hand is going to stay on the chair. Right hand's going to reach up. Take a nice gentle side bend. Just lean over just enough to the edge of that side bend and then lift up over to the other side. Right hand's going to touch down. Left hand's going to lift up. Take a tip over to the other side. Lift up, and we're going to take it right into a seated twist. So rotate in any way that makes sense to you. Think about getting nice and tall on your inhalation. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release and take it over to the other side. Beautiful. When you're ready, release, come through center. Hands are going to find the knees. Take 3 cat-cows. Inhale to lift your heart. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. One more time through. Inhale, lift. Exhale to round. And now we're going to hip hinge, lean forward, and elbows are going to rest on the knees. So we're going to find that little bit of a hip hinge, elbows resting on the knees. And what we want is just that slight bit of forward weight. Look down at your toes. We're going to lift the toes, spread your toes as wide as you can. Lower your toes with control. Lift your toes and spread your toes. And if it helps you find that spread of the toes, let your fingers help you do it. So lower your toes. So hands can help. Lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can. Lower your toes, keep your body weight forward. We're going to lift the heels, lower the heels, lift the toes and the balls of the feet, lower the toes and the balls of the feet. Lift your heels, lower your heels, lift the toes and the balls of the feet, lower the toes and the balls of the feet. Lift your heels, lower your heels, lift your toes and the balls of the feet, lower your toes and the balls of the feet, lift your heels, lower your heels, lift your toes and the balls of the feet, and then hold there. We want to feel a little bit of a stress, or like the muscles in the front of the shins are activated. Hold it there. See if you can hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your toes and the balls of the feet down. Come up away from that bent over position. And then we're just going to start by lightly stepping the feet on the ground. So start with like a toe ball heel landing of the foot. Notice how that feels. And then we're going to pick up the pace a little bit, but see if you can still find that toe ball heel. So we want to roll through the bottom of the feet. Keep that march going, but now you're going to use your hands to create a little bit of a resistance. So you're going to push down with your hands as you try to walk and march with your feet, still trying to land with that toe ball heel. But now as you push down into your hands, you're going to probably notice that your hip flexors and your quadricep muscles have to work just a little bit harder to keep that controlled movement. Nice. One more march of the feet and then take it right into some alternating kicks. We're just lubricating the knees. Move as gently here as feels appropriate. Beautiful. One more kick of each leg. And then we're going to pick up the left leg. So your hands are going to do the heavy lifting. So you're going to make that little basket weave, pick your leg up, let your hands do the work, draw some circles, circle in one direction. Draw your circles the other way. Beautiful. Now we're going to hug that knee towards the chest, squeeze it in, tuck your nose towards your knee, take 3 nice deep breaths. Keep your hand hold on the back of that thigh, but release your thigh just a little bit of away from your heart. And now we're going to kick the foot up, flex your foot, lift your chin, lower your leg, tuck your chin down slightly. Kick your foot up, flex your foot, lift your chin, lower your leg, tuck your chin slightly. Kick your foot up, flex your foot, lift your chin, lower your leg, lower your chin slightly, and then set that foot down, grab the other leg. Use your basket weave, pick that leg up, let your arms do the heavy lifting. Draw your leg in circles, circle in one direction. Awesome. Draw your leg in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. Pull that knee in toward your chest as tight as you can. Tuck your nose toward your knee. Come back to your breath. Lift your head, release your thigh just slightly away from your heart space, and then kick your foot up towards the sky. Lift your chin, flex your foot, lower your leg, tuck your chin down slightly. Lift your foot, flex your foot, lift your chin, and lower your foot, lower your chin. One more time through. Lift your foot, flex your foot, lift your chin. Lower your foot, tuck your chin slightly, and then release that leg back down to the ground. Find your mountain pose. Press gently down into the feet, a little energy down into your fingers. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, lift your heart, fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches for a twist. Release that hand down, slide up your shin, bring your knee to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. Release that leg right back down to mountain pose, and we take it over to the other side. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches for a twist. Release that hand down, slide up your shin, bring your knee to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. And then release right back to your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left hand over to the right, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches for the sky. Release that hand down, slide up your shin, bring your knee to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. Hang on to that knee, but release your nose from your knee. Take that leg out to the side just a little bit. Circle your foot in one direction. Circle your foot the other way. And then bring that leg back in, set it down, find your mountain pose. Nice. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Right hand over to the left shin, left hand to reach. Doggone it. Left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches for the sky. Release that hand down, slide up your shin, bring your knee to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. Release nose from knee, but hang on to that knee. Swing that foot out just a little bit. Circle your foot in one direction. Circle your foot the other way. Bring that leg back in with control, set it down. And now we're going to start with a light bit of reach. So you'll reposition your butt in your chair as needed, but you're going to reach and grab. We want to work through the fingers just a little bit. So just imagine that you're reaching for something imaginary out in that peripheral range of motions. You're going to reach for it, grab it with your hands, and then take it over and across to the other side. And then as you start to do this work here, what we're really shooting for is to get those muscles in the side body to kick on. So you want to put yourself just out to the edge where you feel like your muscles have to help you keep that control. Notice how that feels. And we're going to start to take this a little bit further. But if you're already here and like this is enough, you're going to stay with this side bend and reach. If it feels good, you're going to start to reach your hand up as the other hand touches the ground. So you're going to put yourself slightly more off balance, reaching down to touch the ground. With that other hand reaching up, it's not going to be able to help you quite as much. Awesome. Take one more time through, and then we're going to keep that going, but now we're going to widen our legs. So you're going to toe heel your feet out to a good wide position. And now see, is it easier with those legs in a wider position as that strong base structure? Can you reach down and touch the ground with a little bit more control? Beautiful. One more time each side, and then we're going to keep our legs in that wide configuration, but now we're going to take the left elbow to the left knee, and we're going to think about pulling those ribs up away from the thigh. Take your top hand, reach it up and overhead, and then we're going to do little rolls of the pinky. So you're going to take the pinky finger, roll it down towards the ground and look down, pull the pinky finger back, turn your head, look up towards the sky. Roll the pinky finger down, turn your head, look down at the ground. Pull the pinky back, turn your head, look up towards the ceiling. Roll the pinky finger down, look down towards the ground. Pull the pinky finger back, look up towards the ceiling, lift up, and we're going to circle it all the way over to the other side. So right elbow is going to come to the knee. Ribs are going to lift away from the thigh. Top hand is going to reach up. Find that nice, strong side body stress, and then take a moment to find your breath. Now we're going to work with that top pinky. Pinky fingers are going to roll down, look down towards the ground. Pull that pinky finger back, turn your head, look up towards the ceiling. Roll the pinky finger down, look down. Pull the pinky finger back, look up. Roll the pinky finger down, look down. Pull the pinky finger back, look up, and now we're going to lift up as we bring our hands behind the back of the chair, toe heel your feet in so they're about hip width distance apart, and then lift your chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your gaze, take 3 breaths here in this back bend if you can. Release your gentle back bend, come right through to your mountain pose, and then just pause in your mountain pose for a moment. Either close your eyes down or just find a single point to focus your gaze, but just notice your breath for a moment. Notice the breath in your rib cage. If you can, breathe down to the bottom of the ribs first, fill up to the top. Take one more breath. And then we're going to add a little movement of the shoulders. So we're going to inhale, shoulders are going to lift. Exhale, just let your shoulders depress down and reach like you're reaching your fingers down towards the ground. Inhale, let the shoulders lift. Exhale, anchor the shoulders down, reach down through the fingers. Inhale, let your shoulders lift. Exhale, reach down. Now we're going to add a little bit of movement of the head. So inhale, shoulders are going to lift. Exhale, one ear is going to drop towards one shoulder. We're going to alternate between the two, so it doesn't matter which side you go with first. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop the other way. 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 Nice. One more time through both sides. As you come through center, just roll those shoulders down and back, and then we're going to take it into our flicking fingers. So 4 fingers behind the thumb, and we're going to start to flick. Get a nice rapid pace if you can. We want to stress the hands or make them work a little bit. We want to get them to almost to the point of fatigue. As you start to do this work here, and your fingers might already be feeling a little bit of muscle action or start feeling like your rhythm starts to change, do you start to pick up tension in your jaw? Can you keep this going? Keep your mouth closed, breathe in and out through your nose, but relax your jaw just a little bit. One or two more flicks to those fingers, and then bring your hands together, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, press them forward, bring them right in front of your heart, glide your shoulders down, take a moment, take a breath. Awesome. Soften your elbows just enough that you can bring the arms up and overhead. Make some space for yourself. And then once you've got your arms up, press the palms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to add light little tick-tocks of the ribs side to side. Wonderful. One more little light tick-tock of the ribs side to side. Keep your fingers interlaced. We're going to bring them back through the heart space. So soften your elbows, bring them right in front of the heart, and then press back into the palms. And we're going to press and round. So as you press into the palms, you're going to pull the ribs back, tuck your chin down just slightly, and then notice the space between your shoulder blades. So think back side of the heart space. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Release your hands, release your shoulders, release that nice reverse back bend, shrug everything out. And now we're going to grab hold of the left knee, grab hold of the left heel, take a little internal, external rotation. And then when you feel ready, take your leg into the figure 4 that makes the most sense to you. Some of us, it's going to be across the thigh. Some of us, it might be across the ankle, or you might choose a variated grade with your yoga block. So get yourself into your figure 4. We're going to go 3 little tips forward. So you're going to hip hinge, lean forward just a little bit. Come back up. Now you're going to see if you can go just a little bit further. Hip hinge, lean forward just a little further. Come back up. This time you're going to see if you can go to your edge, but then come right back out of it. And now you're going to go to that middle point. So not all the way forward to your edge, but not in that slightly more upright position. So find that middle point and then hang out there for a moment. Take a breath. Nice. Lift your heart space up. Keep your figure four if you can. You're going to take your thumb to your big toe. So think toenail knuckle, second knuckle down. We're going second knuckle down. So not on the toenail point proper, but the second knuckle down, middle of that big toe. Draw some little circles. So you're going to put a light bit of pressure with your thumb. Draw a couple of circles in one direction. Draw a couple little circles, go the other way. This is that Marma point, that confidence point. It's that point that just kind of lets us come back to ourselves. So take one more little circle, lift that leg all the way up and off, set it down, take a second, do a little windshield wiper action. And now we're going to grab hold of the other knee, the other heel. And if you like to use your yoga block on one side compared to the other, do what feels good. Take it into a little internal, external rotation to start. And then just kind of tune in. How's your hip feeling on this side? And then we'll start to find our way into our figure four. So that might be across the ankle, that might be up on a yoga block or across the thigh. So find the point that feels the best to you and then tip forward just a little bit. Bring yourself back up. Tip forward a little bit further. Bring yourself back up. This time you're going to tip forward to your edge, but you're not going to stay at your edge. You're just going to come really close to it, find that edge, and then bring yourself right back up. And now you're going to find that midpoint. So not the edge, but not the furthest away point. Find that midpoint, pause there, and come back to your breath. When you're ready, lift out of that fold, take your thumb to that Marma point. So big toe, second knuckle down, top of the toe, put a little pressure on, draw your micro circles in one direction. Draw your micro circles the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift that leg up and off. Take a second as it sets down to just do those little windshield wipers. And then if you have any foot dust on your hands, start to brush them off. But then we're going to start to fire up our palms. But also, if you're wearing glasses, you're going to take a moment to just take them off, put them somewhere safe, and then bring those hands back together. We're going to get them good and fired up. So we're going to get our hands as hot as we can. Create a good amount of friction, almost to the point where your arms get fatigued. That's how hard we're going to work to make that heat in the hands. Put a little bit more muscle into it. Take one or two more breaths to fire up those palms. And then we're going to cup our hands over our eyes. So once you feel like your hands are as hot as they can be, cup your hands over your eyes. Let your eyes close down. Take 3 deep breaths here. Before we release our hands from our eyes, we're going to take an inhalation. And as we exhale, we're going to let out a sound, like that tastes good. So rather than your generic hum, see if you can find a little bit more of the M in it. So eyes are going to stay covered. Take your inhalation. Exhale and At the end of your exhalation, gently release your eyes from your hands. Keep your eyes closed down if you can, and then just notice that filtered light that comes in behind your eyelids. Keep your eyes closed if you can. Draw little tiny micro circles in the air with our nose just to kind of keep the neck and the cervical spine gentle and loose. Draw your little circles, go the other way. And then when you feel ready, start to walk yourself back in your seat, finding your way towards your seated Shavasana. Now, if you prefer to take your Shavasana on the ground or in any other position, take a moment to set yourself up. But if it feels good to just kind of scoot yourself back, let your back be supported by the chair, let your butt be supported by the chair, let your eyes close down if it feels good, and then just start to allow your breath to come in at a nice natural rhythm. Give your body a moment to work out all those little wiggles. Wiggle out your toes, wiggle out your shoulders, make sure your hair and your clothes and all your body is positioned in a way that feels gentle and restful. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, or if your morning requires it, start to gently reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes to start. Allow your breath to deepen just a little bit. Keeping your eyes closed if you can. We're going to take opposite limb, big good morning stretch. So right hand and left leg are going to stretch out and away from each other. Take a bit of a reach, take a nice big breath in, and then release those limbs back in and switch to the other side. Right leg, left hand are going to reach out and away from each other. Inhale with a little bit of a reach. And then bring it back in, still keeping the eyes closed if we can, just to pay attention to sensation rather than what our body looks like. Both arms, both legs are going to reach out and away from each other. Find that big yawning stretch. And then when you're ready, keep your eyes closed if you can. Release that big good morning stretch. Walk your butt forward in your chair. Sit up nice and tall. Take a moment just to notice your feet connected to the ground. Notice your breath coming in and out. On your next inhalation, gather your prayer hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra and bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And then breathe in a whole bunch of extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with anyone who might need it. And then when you feel ready, gently lift up to the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday. You guys are amazing. Got to put my eyes back on so I can see y'all.